Can you imagine your life without your mom? Can you even imagine a day without your mom? And as a motherless child, and it's been 4 years, the full 4 years that I had lived my life without my mom, I've been thinking about this episode for a very long time. Even before I started this podcast, I just wanted to make an episode purely to dedicate to the motherless child. Well, there must be loads of fatherless childs, but especially to motherless childs, because I'm 27 and I was 23 when I lost my mom, and thinking about it makes me feel like, damn, I was so young to lose a parent. I was 23, and at that time, like, once I realised that my mum passed away, like a few seconds later that my mum passed, in my brain it was full of like, oh my god, how do I live? I've never lived a single day without my mum in my entire life. I mean, I was a part of her. I was part of her body for 10 months, and she's been living with me, and she's been a big part of my life for 23 years. And how can I imagine a life without her? And now it's inevitable to live a life without her until I die. And it wasn't, of course there was a huge emotion into it, but there were also a lot of questions about how am I going to deal with so many things without my mum. Even though I was 23, I was officially, objectively a grown-up. I wasn't a minor, of course. So I was supposed to get a grip and kind of know how to manage and organize my life without a parent. But I think it can be one of the dark side of having a parent in Korea is that it's so easy to be dependent on your parents, especially your mom, in a Korean society. And I think I've saw a comment by a foreigner what they think about Korean adults, like Koreans. And one of the most interesting, one of the most funny thing, what they commented about Koreans is that they're all obsessed with their mums and dads, especially their mums. And it's kind of true. Like, now there's a meme saying, I want to freeze my mom so I can live with her forever. It's absolutely true. Like, some people does say it, and it's like a very popular viral meme in the internet about, I want to freeze my mom so I can live with her forever. And in a country where having a mum is so important, and especially having a normal family is very important here. Like, it's now, since I lost my mum, now I definitely know that it's a human manner to don't really specifically ask about their parents in detail to the others. Until you know what it's really like. Actually, it's not even necessary to be curious about their parents, because it's so common to see a parent, to see a people who doesn't have a mom, who doesn't have a dad, who has a divorced parents. Of course, there's many of them, and there's also some people who does have mom and dads, but they kind of already had lived a separated life for years and years, and now they're kind of like, they're connected by blood, but except that they're actually like very individual beings. So they exist, but they kind of live as they don't exist. And that all kind of family exists. And before I lost my mum, I really didn't know about this kind of concept about there's so many varieties when it comes to familyhood. There could be so many shapes and so many stories and so many dramas and so many things that so hard to say to people, so hard to explain, so hard to kind of casually talk about it compared to having what people call normal family. You know, a family that both has mum and dad and maybe a sibling, and typically four of them, or typically four members of family, like mum and dad and a sibling and you. That's very normal. And actually, after I lost my mum, now I know that there's very, very few of people who can confidently say they have a normal family, because you never know until you know the detail about what their life was like, until you actually ask them, or until that person decides to be open about it, because it takes a huge emotional energy to talk about a family, including me. Although it's already been 4 years, and most of my friends attended my mum's funeral, and most of my friends knew that my mum was ill for years and years, and many people knew that my mum stayed in the hospice for a week, and she had a very peaceful ending of her life. But still, it does require me a huge energy and a huge, a thought process to how am I gonna convey about this matter, because some people might take it very seriously, some people might take it not very seriously. So it really depends. So it takes me a huge effort and time and thinking process to actually talk about it and to be open about it, because you never know what kind of person they are until you tell them about this kind of tragic story of my family. And at the beginning, like after like few months or few years, like 1 year, like below 1 year that my mum passed away, I simply didn't know how to talk about it or tell somebody who doesn't really know me that well, the ones that I just met, or the one who's on my colleagues who just simply asked me about how's my mum very casually. And I don't blame them. It's very normal. At least in Korea, when I start talking about my dad, which I do very often, there are sometimes some people ask me about my mum very naturally, and I don't blame them. And it's very, I think it's a too much of requirement for me to ask them to think about, you should kind of consider whether that person has just one dad, or who just has only dad or only mum. You never know about what they've been going through regarding family. But again, I don't blame them, and again, I believe it's quite a big requirement for especially young people to consider about. There are many forms and varieties when it comes to family in the world, so you shouldn't take it. Well, firstly, you shouldn't, like, if you have a normal family, then congratulations. You're part of very few, like, not samples, but very few cases in the world who can confidently say they have a normal family, which I was 4 years ago. I was able to confidently say that I have mum and dad, and I have a cute brother. I just love my family. They're almost my everything. But now, since my mum passed away, now I know, again, I've been talking about this like on and on, but now I know there are many forms of family in the world, and I shouldn't take it granted, and people shouldn't take granted about their family, regardless of their family members, regardless if you only have a mum, if you only have a dad, but still, it is the most precious thing that you still have your mum or still has a dad. It is a blessing. So, yeah. Well, firstly, I just wanted to say, like, I always wanted to dedicate an episode solely to people who only has a dad, or only has a single parent, or especially to those who lost their mums, or like, I don't know, maybe your mum and dad divorced when you were very young, and it's been impossible for you to reach out to your mum, and technically you guys are individual beings, and it's impossible to reach out, it's impossible to connect to her. Doesn't matter, I mean, anything can happen in life. So yeah, I just wanted to dedicate an episode solely to people who lost their mums, like me, who lost my mum 4 years ago by cancer, and also for those who has mom or dad, is like basically your parent, who is suffering from cancer, and you as a daughter or son, like, struggling with it, and going through that long, hard journey with your parent to fight the cancer, because nobody talks about it. It's a life that not many people had experienced it, and nobody wants to experience it in their life. So me first realising that mum got a cancer at the age of 18, 19, and until the age of 23, for 5 years, I think I've been craving for some attention and some affection towards people like me who's been fighting with cancer, cancer of your parent, not you, of course, because having a patient in your family means there's like it means like you always have like a grenade in a household. You have like a bomb, a grenade in your household, and you never know when it's gonna blow. You never know it's gonna blow. And sometimes those grenades are kind of destined, and it's definite for it to blow someday. And you have absolutely no control about it. And some cancers, yes, people say that most cancer can be cured, and people have thought about, and people and scientists and doctors are fighting it. But again, still, it is one of the major reasons for death, at least in South Korea, in the 40s or 50s. I think I saw a statistic of the number one, the biggest reason for men and women in the 40s and 50s was cancer. And I believe in the most developed countries, it's like that. The biggest reason for death must be cancer, like I said, in the developed countries. So yeah, like, if you're listening to me, if you have a parent who's struggling with cancer, fighting with cancer, and you being a child, whether you are daughter or son, and I've been there. I just wanted to say I've been there. And although I lost my mum, I just recommend you to stay with your parent as long as you can. Say I love you as much as you can, and go to trip, like go somewhere together. At least like a park to get together. At least cook something fabulous and present it to your parent, and have a great night together. Just laugh and just talk about everything, because you never know when it's going to end. You never know what kind of person you'll be in the future when you first encounter your parents' death. Like, it's really hard to articulate it, but I hope it kind of conveys what I want to say. I just want to say, like, to those childs who already lost their mums, or who's been fighting with cancer with your parent together, or a child who has a parent who has a patient in the house, who has that grenade in the house, and then you've been tolerating, and you've been you've been tolerating, you've been kind of suppressing your feelings so you won't worry your parent, because it is one of the worst scenario for you to worry a parent who has a cancer, who has like a chronic disease, very fatal disease, and you never know when it's gonna blow. So it's funny, isn't it? Is that like the worst scenario that can happen before the death is that you really don't want to worry your parent, do you? Because it's already kind of serious and sad in the household because of what's happening with your parent with cancer and other fatal disease and a chronic disease, and you just don't want to make it any worse, you know. And I remember like, so I remember I was in a building and there was a fire in the building, and I think I was like at almost the top of the building. So I remember I was running down the stairs only thinking that I can't do this. Like, not I can't do this, but like, I can't die. Mommy's here. Mommy's here. She's already feeling horrible. Like, I'm not gonna make any situation any worse. So this is gonna happen. This is not gonna happen. I'm gonna be alive. Mum's here. I can't die. That's all I've been thinking while I was running downstairs when the fire started. So yeah, it happens. And the reason I'm recording this is because a few days ago was my mum's 4th anniversary, and actually I'm going to Jeju next week in order to meet my family, to kind of remember my mum, go and visit her in the what's that in English, like cemetery, isn't it? Cemetery. So visit the cemetery, meet my family, meet my aunt, who's my mum's sister, and my dad, of course, and my brother. And to me, like, Jeju itself is like my mum. It's like a soft bed. It's like a soft, cozy house where it welcomes me whenever what's happening in my life. It's always gonna welcome me. It's always gonna celebrate me. It's always gonna make me feel really cozy and happy once I'm there. And everywhere I go, I just remember all little memories regarding her, like everywhere. Of course the house, and of course the forests, of course the mountains, of course the oceans. Yeah, everywhere I go, everywhere in Jeju reminds of my mum, and sometimes it makes me really painful. But it also means I have so many elements in Jeju, wherever, that I can remember my mum. And my future child will never know my mum. She or he will never know my mum, which makes me really sad, but still, I believe that she lives within me, and I believe that she lives, I don't know why, but there's like very common and a cliche thing that people say when they lost their loved ones. They always kind of comfort people by saying she's or he's gonna stay with you no matter what. It's in your she or he's in your heart, so don't worry. And I thought it was such a cliche to say that, and I wasn't able to believe it. But as time goes by, I kind of technically was kind of able to know what they mean what that means, and I was able to feel my mum within me. I sometimes could feel, like, physically, emotionally, I could feel that my mum is beside me. I could feel that, literally and actually. So, yeah. It's funny that my emotions about my mum's death and emotions about what's been happening and my emotional roller coaster, those kind of thinking process and your emotional, like, I don't know, elements changes. It does change. It's not always sad. People believe, like, when they lost their loved ones, they're always gonna be in a sad mood, but as time goes by, it kind of changes. It's not like it gets happier or anything, but there's definitely a little and gradual changes about the emotion about your loved one's death. It changes. I don't know why, but it's more like, at first, of course it's a grief, it's sadness, it's depressive moments, the funerals and the emotional wave. But now it's more like missing someone rather than sadness. There's very little remained sadness in my heart right now. Now it's more like I miss her so much. That's it. I just miss her. But since I've seen her in pain for 5 years, like a pain worse than death for 5 years, I believe if there's anyone who's listening to this podcast and who had experience of taking care of cancer patients, they will know what they mean. They will know what I mean. There's actually a pain that seems worse than death. And as a daughter who's been witnessing that kind of pain for 5 years, at the end of everything, you kind of get to try to let her go. Kind of learn how to let her go and try to let her go, because you never have a tolerance to tolerate your loved one's pain, a pain worse than death. And eventually you kind of inevitably try to let her go, because you no longer want to see your loved one in pain, a severe pain. So yeah, now it's not like sadness, it's not like grief, like I said earlier. It's more like missing. It's like that feeling of missing someone so much. And it's also an emotion that is not intense. That emotion of missing her is not intense. It's more like, it's very deep. It's so deep within me, and it stays with me every time. No matter when I'm happy, no matter when I'm lonely, no matter what, I'm just so enjoying my life. It doesn't matter. I know it's so deep. It's gonna stain on me. It's gonna stain on me like a tattoo that I will never able to erase forever. It's so deep, and it's something that I have to take it and take care of it until I die. So, wow, it's been already 24 minutes I've been talking about it. But I just wanted to dedicate this episode to all motherless childs. And I've been there, I feel you. And yeah, we miss our mum. And it's sad that we can't do anything about it. It's sad that now we don't have any future with her anymore. I'm sad that the photos of my mom is not the amount of photos that I have of my mom is never going to increase. It's going to stay like that. The number of that photo is going to stay forever the same, because she's not here anymore. And it's sad that my future child is never going to see my mum. It's sad that I'm not going to go shopping with her. It's sad that I can't, gossip or chat with my mum anymore. But sometimes you just have to accept it, right? You'll just have to accept it, because you have no control with somebody's death in lives. You have no control. So, yeah. But still, every time I get sad, every time I miss someone, I miss my mum so much. I just try to talk. I just try so hard to think about my mum, think about the memories, think back about what's been fun with my mum, think back about the love that she gave me. Yeah, the love. Now the only thing I remember my mum is just love that she gave me. And I think from this experience, I just learned the biggest thing that you can give your child is just love. And the only thing that you can remember about your parent if they're passed away is just love, and the laughter, the enjoyment, laughter and love that you gave them and they gave you back. So, yeah. Anyone who's listening to me, again, who's going through a cancer treatment of your parent, or those who already lost their mum, I'm dedicating this episode to you. And again, I'll feel you. And I just hope we will live a peaceful, happy, content life, so you can tell about your amazing stories about your life to your mums whenever we meet again. So yeah. God, it was really hard to make this episode this time. It was really hard, but I've made it. I'm dedicating to this to all motherless childs. Thank you for listening. It's been a very heavy episode today, but again, thanks for listening. And I'm sorry that it's been late for a couple of days. I should have uploaded a few days ago, but I'm sorry that was a bit late, but still, I've managed. So I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend last weekend, and I hope we can have a great weekdays this week. So thank you. Bye-bye.